This Transformers 96 here, another review. This time we have Real Steel, the basic series Metro, Frankenstein's monster. So here you go. So Metro, obviously we have Frankenstein's monster, his little motto, I guess. A good picture of him. I guess it's kind of hard to tell what his face is, but yeah, it's a decent picture. Can't say I love it though, but yeah. On the back here we have a nice picture of him. The blue kind of looks like purple in the picture though, but whatever. Some stats. You got some others. Well, you do have the switching of limbs kind of gimmick that they have. Then they have 2 repaints of Adam and Zeus, and 3 new sculpts of Metro, 6-shooter, and Ambush. I have them all, and I have just reviewed Ambush and 6-shooter, if I'm not mistaken. Not quite sure what order I'm gonna put them in, but I do have them, and if they're not out, they will be reviewed very soon. So anyway, so here you go. So this is the one that I really wanted for Wave 2. It looked really cool and just a really interesting kind of looking robot. So I got it, as you can see, and I have to say that I am very, very impressed with this guy. Really great. So this is the robot that was at the zoo, kind of a low-class kind of fighting arena that is the first battle that they take Adam to, where they think that Adam was just going to totally die and not win at all. And he ends up winning against Metro, which is nice, because Metro gets a nice long fight. Because the first battle with the first and the last battle with the main character, as far as boxing movies, always very long. So this was a very long fight, which is nice. You get to see a lot of Metro kind of in action, kind of a low-class arena, so he is a mix mash of different parts. He's not very, he's not very put together evenly, which is awesome, just gives him an awesome look. So anyway, so here you go. So the figure is great. First of all, the paint's applied very nicely in the chest area. It's a bluish kind of, but it's all scratched up, which looks awesome. And the whole metal and everything, it's all scratched up. The only places where it's not really scratched up is the arm. There is a little bit of scratching, but not too much. It's very clean, which isn't how it was in the movie and everything. But this arm's got some scratching and everything. The shoulder pad has some minor scratching. It says a big M for Metro. It's kind of sloppy painted, which is good. This is actually, they meant to do that because, you know, it's just sloppy painted on by the people who created him. Really awesome looking, and the whole body with all the rings, very nice detail. It's not just painted on, it's actually sculpted, which looks great. The yellow, green, all the different colors, all sculpted very nicely and all put together great. So yeah, so the paint and everything on this guy, really fantastic, really loving it. As far as articulation, same basic articulation as everybody else. Ball hinge shoulders, hinge elbows, no wrist on the right arm, but there is a wrist swivel on the left. For obvious reasons, I don't take points off of that for anything because he's an odd shaped figure. Ball hinge, thighs, hinge, knees, and no ankle because of the way that it's sculpted, with it being hooked to this leg by 3 different joints. So yeah, so he doesn't have sorry about that. So he doesn't have all of the articulation as the other figures, but still he has just enough. He's got a perfect amount of articulation that's needed for him. Because of his odd kind of shape and everything, one leg is longer and one leg shorter, which makes him a bit harder to stand up, but you can do it because he's got some decent articulation in the legs. As far as his gimmick, when you push down his head, his body lights up red. It's not the best light up gimmick I've seen, but still it's very nice, and it's very hidden. Some of the other figures, kind of like who is it? Noisy Boy, kind of have when it's not lit up, it kind of looks, it stands out. The non-lit up parts stand out. For him, they're very covered. They're just small creases and everything in the stomach, so it doesn't look like he's a light-up gimmick. If you had no idea what Real Steel was, you wouldn't think that this toy lights up. So yeah, so I like that. As far as the head sculpt, looks great. It's silver and blue, all scratched up, looking fantastic, and a fantastically molded head. And he's very big too. That's another thing. You get more for your money because of how big he is. This is one of my favorite figures from the Real Steel toy line. Really loving it, and it looks great on your shelf, and just really loving it. It looks great. I didn't expect him to be one of my favorites, but he's one of my favorites, if not my favorite. So really loving this guy, and really highly recommend it. So just a quick overview on the second wave of Real Steel. Of the basic figures for Real Steel. Here you go. So it's these 3 figures. It's these 2 plus those 3. These 2, it's just the same figure, just with some scratches like battle damage. It's just a little bit of paint. They just repainted it slightly. And then this figure, they repainted quite a lot to make him look all rusty. So I really have no interest in those two because they're just repaints of original figures. So yeah, I'm not too into that. But these three figures are the three new sculpts for the toys. So these I definitely wanted to get. Really liking all of them. Ambush is a good figure. He's not amazing, but he's pretty decent. I know that there's a lot of people who are fans of Ambush. So if you're a fan of Ambush, by all means go ahead and get him. He's not going to super impress you, but he won't disappoint you as long as you can see that the paint isn't great. As far as Six Shooter, he's very nice. A character who wasn't in the movie very much, so I can't say I like the character too much. But as far as the figure and the way the robot looks, fantastic. Really loving it. As far as Metro got a big part in the movie. Well, at least decent part in the movie overall. Some good air time and screen time, and he is a fantastic figure and very bulky too. As you can see, he's much bigger than them. He's about, if you count Six Shooter's hat goes just a little over than him, but not very much at all. But as far as like the head, he is the tallest, and he's the bulkiest too by a lot. So you're gonna have the most fun, and he's gonna look the best on your shelf as far as these three new figures. But all three of them together, very nice. Highly recommend them if you have the means to get them. But if you don't, if you're a little tight on cash, I recommend just going with these two. They're very nice. So there you go. So I'm a big fan of these basic figures for Real Steel. I'm so glad to get the second wave in, and really awesome. So some great figures. Hopefully, the 6-inch line will be released soon. I'm not too into the 6-inch figures, but I still will get them because I really like the characters for Real Steel. So as soon as they release that the second wave of 6-inch figures, I will start getting them. The 6-inch figures, let me show you. There'll be these characters. Hold on, and let's get some Adam in here. So it'll be three new characters with, it'll have the 6-inch Adam just repainted in the same kind of rusted thing that they're doing here. It'll be Twin Cities, 6-Shooter, and Metro, all upsized to the, I know that they're not quite 6 inches, they're like 7, 8 inches tall figures. The deluxe line, they'll just be all upgraded. So there you go. So really loving these basic line figures, and really, this is a fantastic figure. Get him by all means. I got him on eBay. He's well worth the money. So there you go. So that's my, probably my last review of a Real Steel basic figure ever. So overall, hey, ended on a bang, because this guy's really awesome, and really happy to get him. So there you go. So that's my review of the Real Steel basic figure Metro, Frankenstein's monster review. Thanks for watching.